All right, Eonin here, and welcome to Eonin's Edge. Today we'll take a look at the ESEE Izula 2 fixed blade. Specs on this knife: we got 1095 steel in a coated flat grind drop point knife. We've got tan micarta scales. They are removable and replaceable. We've got a spine thickness of 157 thousandths of an inch, a usable fine cutting edge of 2.5 inches, scale length of 3 1/8 inches, a tip to tail of 6 1/4, and this knife weighs 3.05 ounces, so very light. Let me tell you what I like about this knife. First of all, the size is amazing. Okay, this is an easy knife to EDC carry in this pouch. It's not all that big. You can still get all 4 of your fingers on it. It's got a nice deep well here, choil well, if you want to call that, for your fingers. Here we are in hammer position. My large glove size hands still have some room on the back to get on there, which is really nice. There's some jimping on the front of the blade, so the knife really does lock right into your hand. Really nice. This is a great size for an EDC carry fixed blade knife. The ergos on it, again, excellent, solid feel. The spine is plenty wide enough for you to put your finger on. Even if you skip way up forward of the jimping and want to really put some power behind the cuts on this knife, the spine is plenty thick enough here for you to put your finger down, your thumb down on, and it feels really, really good. This is a good little cutter. Because it feels so solid in your hand, because you feel like you have such a good grip on this knife, you really can pull this thing through stuff. You really do feel a lot of confidence when cutting with this knife, and I really dig that. It's got some great looking micarta on it. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit and get, there we go. Look at that, huh? That's some nice looking stuff right there. Really, really good looking micarta. Nice texturing. And again, meaningful jimping on the back of the spine. So one thing I don't want to overlook, I reviewed an older version of this knife a while back, and it didn't have any scales on it, and the sheath was not the factory sheath with the clip attached. The sheath on this knife is fantastic. You do get a milled plastic sheath, but it's custom made for this knife. It's got multiple ways you can carry the knife. I have it set up right now to carry in scout like this on my belt line, which is what I prefer, but you can very easily rotate this clip and carry it in a drop position as well. It's actually got real metal screws, and it's got a lot of retention there that you can put it on a belt or on a pack or whatever, and it holds the knife really, really secure, which I really like. You're not going to easily tug that thing out of there. It's not going to fall out, and it gives you either a drop or a scout carry position. I prefer the scout carry most of the time. But excellent clip design comes with the knife. So let's talk about a couple of other things here. Are there any issues or dislikes about the Izula 2? Generally, no. I would like to try the S35 VN version of this knife, because I would prefer to carry a stainless knife as an EDC carrier, or something that's made out of a stainless steel. I cannot complain about the 1095 steel on this knife. It actually really took a beautiful edge, and it's held up really well, but you do have to be careful about making sure that you don't let the knife get any moisture build up on it and wipe it off after you're done cutting. But it does hold a very good edge. I like the texturing of the tan scales, but tan micarta is not really my thing. I've carried this knife a fair amount. It looks really good. I might like to try some different color scales on this, or another Izula in the future, but as far as functionality wise, they feel great, and like I said, the knife feels really good in your hand. But I like to mess around with some different scale options on the knife. that's not necessarily a hit to the knife. It's just that it is what it is. And besides going to some kind of a stainless like an S35 VN, which they do offer, I might like to try a different coating. You can see this coating does get a fair amount of wear on it. It doesn't really look scratched, but it just gets wear. And that may not bother anybody. I'd like to try maybe a different type of coating on it. As far as the usability and function of the knife, excellent. This is a really good little knife. So I'm just gonna do one size comp for you here on this. If you're carrying this knife and you're wondering what is it generally in the range of, this is a wee banter. So you can see that your cutting edge is gonna be very similar to the banter. There's definitely more handle here, so it's a little bigger than that. But I think blade shape wise, boy, they're very, very close. There you go. So you can kind of see there's a little bit more sticking out back here at the back edge, a little bit more purchase room on it, but it is very, very similar in size. A little more handle room, a little bit more handle space back here to a wee banter. Just to give you some indication on the size. Okay. So in summary, these tend to run for around 80 bucks. You can pick them up in the 70s when they're on sale a lot of times. The S35 VN steel version I mentioned runs around 110 to 120. There are a ton of different scale options available for these things. You can also take the scales off and use the knife without the scales if you prefer just the metal handle. That is absolutely doable too with this knife. The last one that I got in on loan, the older version of the Izula, I got on loan had some paracord wrap for the handles, which wasn't bad either. I think I prefer the micarta myself because it gives the knife a little thicker feel in hand. But again, there is a ton of different coatings and a ton of different handle options for this knife, so I'm sure you can find something that you like. Comes with a great factory sheath that can be used in both carry positions, well made, very functional, and the knife again has solid ergos. So that makes this an excellent choice for a compact EDC everyday carry. All right? So that's it, folks. That's what I got for you. This is the ESEE Izula 2. Check it out if you're looking to get into the small, everyday carry fixed blade type of knives. This is a great jumping off point for most folks out there. All right, that's all I got for you today. I hope you liked the video. I hope you found it informational. If you did, please think about hitting the like button down there for me and subscribing to my channel for future content. And as always, thank you for watching and stay sharp, everyone.